What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stirfry. It's your boy Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
And our special guest today is Cam Davelle.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here, man. You're a photographer turned videographer. What do you love about it?
Well, for the longest time, I just tried to figure out like what I wanted to do, and for like most of my life, I think I tried to be a rapper, and it just didn't work.
Can we hear some bars? What's going on?
it just wasn't for me. It felt more like I was doing it for the wrong reasons. Like I didn't really love it. I more like the idea of it,
right?
Like living the rap star life. But as I get older, I kind of don't desire that as much as just doing something I really enjoy. And when I got to pick up camera for the first time, I was like, man, I really like this. And then people were telling me I was kind of good at it. So it's like, I think I could take this somewhere.
So let's touch on that a little bit. So you were rapping, and did you honestly feel like you were good?
No. I was trash.
Okay, so you knew you were bad. So when people usually know they're bad, they try to like, if I get this engineer, or if my buddy can make like the right beat. And I'm guessing you tried that. Like,
yeah, you either have it or you don't. Of course, you'll get better if you have it, but some people just don't have it. I didn't have it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But that's good that you didn't waste more of your time.
Yeah.
You know, you understood that, because a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't think I loved it. I didn't really enjoy writing. You know, like how you probably enjoy writing.
And that's the most important thing you have.
Yeah.
Like whether you're good or bad, it has to be enjoyment. Because like some people, we know they're not, the top notch lyricists, but you can see like their energy on stage and their vibe, and you're like, dude, I kind of believe it. I know he's so bad, but he's so hype and confident about himself that it's worth listening to.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. It does all have to... Well, that stems from being passionate about what you do. Like, I know we talked earlier about this conversation about Jeff Bezos and why he is the richest person and why his company is so successful. But it's because he loves what he does.
Yeah.
He went full into it, and he wakes up, instead of saying... Because you could have been like, hey, I want to be a rapper to get bitches and get money.
Yeah.
But... you would end up being sick of it, and you wouldn't want to do that. It's like you realize that. But like, same with Jeff Bezos, I'm sure he wanted money. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he wanted to have a successful business. Yeah. But it was actually the core of let's focus on customers. Yeah. What they want. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think if you just do stuff for the money, like, it'll become a job. Because even if you do it good enough to start making that money, if your heart's not in it, it's going to be the same as a person working a dead-end job, you know? It's the same thing. And when, I think in this field, and I'm sure you can, both of you can agree with this, like, when you first starting, you're not making any money, and you probably spending money, not making it back, and then it's a learning curve. So you gotta really love it to stick to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when was the first time you picked up the camera?
Well, I mean, I always did like photos with iPhone and stuff, but what made me really want to get into it is I went to media school, and we had this one class. It was mostly for TV production, but the teacher, he went on this website, and like he was showing us like compositions and stuff, and other people in the classroom weren't really paying attention. But then after class, I was like, what was that website? And he gave it to me, and it was like this German dude. He was like an instructor, and he was just kind of describing how compositions and lighting and all that work. And then I just took my iPhone, because I didn't have a camera or anything, and I just went out and tried stuff. And I was like, for the first time, I was trying something new that just clicked instantly. Like, I'm getting it, I'm understanding this, and I'm having fun doing it. So I put in a lot of time and hours into it, and started meeting people. That's when I met you, like at the garage shop, right?
Yeah.
I was just doing it with my phone. Didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew I liked it. So.
I think at that time when I met you, though, you had a camera.
No, I was using. I gotta give a shout out to my cousin Nick Samps. His girlfriend Shamaya, she let me borrow a camera.
Oh,
so
wow.
she would let me take it out and shoot Nick or whatever. But I didn't know what I was doing with it, so all my pictures were too dark and out of focus and blurry. You know?
But
I was like, is it the lens? Like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
You know? But
Okay.
it was, I had fun, like, figuring it out and getting better at it.
Yeah. So, but that's an amazing thing, really, if you look at it as you... Look, let's be real. Not all of us can go and just buy a fucking camera and start shooting pictures.
Yeah.
You know? Most of us, I would say, probably can't do that.
Yeah.
You know? Because cameras can get expensive. And especially you don't want to waste your... Like, you don't want to waste your money on a shitty camera when you have your phone that is better than most shitty cameras.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So you're like, okay, I'm going to start shooting my phone. Start shooting your phone. Okay, like, I really want to step it up a notch. And at this point, no one's telling you to do this stuff. You know, you're just motivated by yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, I mean, that's amazing. And you're like, oh, how can I go shoot better pictures?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to borrow my cousin's girl's camera. And, you know, if she'll let me.
Yeah.
And I'll go out and just try it.
Yeah.
Just try to take pictures and just have fun with it. And, so what drove you to keep trying and, like, keep putting yourself in positions where you could get better?
Well, because this whole like photography and videography thing is kind of like deep for me, because like I said, my whole life I've been just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So it's kind of like a spiritual thing. Like I made I don't want to say a deal, like that sounds bad, like a deal with the devil, but I made you know, like a bargain with the universe. Like if you can show to me what I'm supposed to be doing, like what I'm good at, I'll put my heart and soul into it. And so when I picked up the camera for the first time and did my first little free photo shoot and everything, it came out pretty nice. So I was like, oh, I think this is it. And so just that desire to get better and see how far I can push it. And I mean, from doing photography, I gained a lot I gained confidence. I understand now that the only thing stopping you from doing what you want to do is really, you know, your own mind. You limit yourself. Sometimes we may feel like lack of money or opportunities hold us back, but you'll be surprised what you can do with like just an iPhone or whatever, you know. And it's better to start off small like that, because you don't want to spend $2,000 on a camera and you don't know what you're doing with it, because then you're gonna regret it, like, oh, I wasted my money. So
yeah, that is a great point. I see that all the time. I see that all the time, especially with, not to like disrespect anybody that does what we do, you know, like it makes videos, but some people out there, they go and they spend all this money on this high-tech camera like a Red, but like they don't even know how to use it, first of all. So the work's not much better than someone that knows how to use a DSLR for a quarter, like an eighth of the price.
Yeah, like an eighth, literally.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't jump right in. You have to learn the basics first, and that'll make you better. And honestly, not having the best camera makes you better no matter what, because you're using what you have and getting creative with what you have, and you're using it to the max of its ability.
Yeah.
I know Will agrees with that.
I mean, dude, I definitely agree with that. Like, yeah, I mean, you might have $11,000 laying around for like the basic Red, for whatever reason. But that doesn't mean it's gonna be like instant. Like, oh yeah, I picked it up. Every picture is good. Every video is good. All that means is like you technically have a head start.
Yeah.
You have a head start with it being clear, but just because it's clear doesn't mean it's good. Like, I know people that shoot gritty photos that's better than some people clear photos. Just because they know what they're doing specifically. And they know like the niche that they're trying to like specifically target. But people do have like this just wild imagination. Like, yes, you do get what you pay for but that's only when you know how to use it. Like literally.
And you can't buy a skill set. And a lot of time when you're working with something cheaper, instead of focusing on the more technical aspects of it, you get to really focus on like developing your skill set and finding out like what's your style. Because you can learn like all these different shot angles and stuff like that, but it's like eventually you're going to have to develop your own style that will make people want to come to you. So you just spend all this money on a camera. It's like, yeah, you might have 4K, you know, 1,000,000 bits or whatever, but you don't know the basics, not even the basics, let alone the more advanced stuff, you know. So
you focus more on the content and what you're actually showing rather than the picture.
Yeah.
And that's where it also divides in all these movies we see, like we talked about these shitty movies on Netflix. These people have, like, literally, if we were to make a film, like, get some, like, mediocre actors, get an Ari Alexa, odds are we can probably get on Netflix. But the more I find, and I mean, and time has proven it time and time again, with all these film festivals and all these awards and everything, the gritty shit with a good story is what wins. Yeah. Is what gets developed or what gets known in history, you know? Like, especially when you look at, like, in the 90s, there was a big surge of that. You know, indie films and hella shit like that. And that proves that you can just have, it can be gritty. Yeah. Because that tells a story on its own. You can make that part of the film. Like, that's an aspect of it. Yeah. You know, you're learning how to work with what you got.
Yeah, and then people can just get creative. Have you heard of that new movie coming out called Wireless? This gonna be on Quibi. It's a movie where like this guy gets lost in the forest in the winter or whatever. But anyway, there's certain parts where he's like texting and calling people on his phone, and if you turn your phone vertical, it's like you can see what he's seeing from his point of view through the phone. But if you turn it horizontal, it goes back to the cinematic, like the movie. So I was like, man, that's crazy creative. That make me want to get QB to check that out.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty interesting.
That's crazy. I was thinking about that today, actually. I was I forget what I was doing, but I was thinking about, like, how, you know how Samsung, I think it's Samsung, that has a TV that turns.
The curve?
No, the one that turns. Like, it turns straight up and down so you can watch. Did you guys see that?
I didn't see it.
No.
Oh, it's crazy. So you can watch, like, it's a smart TV, and so basically it's like a normal flat screen TV, but then it turns sideways, and it's almost like a phone. You can watch, like, TikToks and stuff that's vertical.
Oh,
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like,
dope.
What if that's the next generation of content? So because we're so used to seeing things on our phones like this way, straight up and down, and it's become like a regular thing to see it on Instagram, you know, Twitter, stuff like that, Facebook. What if they start shooting movies like that?
Yeah. I can see that happen. I think this movie is like the first. I don't know if it's the first, but definitely the probably most popular, biggest budget that tried that. So it's interesting to see where things go. Have you ever seen that show, The Mandalorian?
Oh yeah. So
have you seen the behind the scenes where instead of them using green or blue screens, it's like a screen with projector, so they can the actors can actually see what they're supposed to be, the environment they're supposed to be in, and stuff like that.
I didn't see the behind the scenes, but I did see a YouTube video on that. Like, okay, because it makes sense because then you don't have to worry about, because if you use green screen, you don't have to worry about like the outer, like the bounce of the green on their subject. Yeah, because that's like a big problem. And then also, people are able to act better because they know what they feel it. Yeah, you know, they feel like they're in the environment. I don't know how people do that. It's crazy.
You got to be a pretty good. I seen some like behind the scenes, like the Avengers, where they're just in a blue room with blue, and then like it'll be like the little Rocket Raccoon and the Hulk and Groot, and the actor has to just talk to. It's just nothing there. You just got to imagine these things around him. So that's interesting.
Oh, dude, that's like heavy duty acting.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, so was it like stuffed animals, or like when you say or it's like a sculpture? How would you describe it?
Different things I've seen. Sometimes it'll just be like a green puppet.
Yeah, and they'll be like moving it around. Like,
I got you.
Like a dude in a green suit holding a little stick with a puppet. Like, this is Rocket Raccoon. And the actor got to be like dead serious talking to it.
I know. And it's crazy because it probably looks like this, like, preschool play or something.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, something cheesy you would do outside, you know, and just like with your buddies as a kid. My favorite shot, I think I did see behind the scenes of the Avengers when he was like,
oh, and
and it was just no, but like it was just so like nothing happened.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, and it was just the funniest thing I ever.
Wait, was it like Doctor Strange when you or who was it?
What were you talking about, Doctor Strange?
No, I was just talking about. I think it was. I forget which superheroes were in the one I was talking about.
Gotcha.
No, all of it's filmed in green screen.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but I just didn't know like what specific, like, because then I could like picture it better.
Oh, the one I was talking about was Guardian of the Galaxy, where they got the Rocket Raccoon and Groot. And
I was
Chris
talking
Pratt
about
was
Avengers.
just I
got you.
Yeah, so it's always cool to look into like
I love behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, me too. I see stuff and just be like, wow, man. See these $200-300 million budget movies,
and all that money's going towards those VFX people.
Yeah, and big name actors because
you
gotta draw
obviously.
people into the theater.
Yeah.
So
that too, but I couldn't imagine like, well, obviously they outsource for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
But it's just crazy, like the amount of time that goes into VFX is crazy. Mm-hmm. That's a whole other art form on its own, you know, like. Making all that CGI stuff, that stuff's, whew.
Yeah.
You can make a lot of money, though, doing that.
Yeah, I heard a lot of those guys are, like, underpaid, overworked, but...
Oh, yeah.
It has to be a passion of love. I mean, of course, they're making money to live off of, but, like, they're probably, like, the big... Like, for the Avengers, they're the most important part, because otherwise you're just looking at a green screen and these actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I first met you... Like you said, you were taking photos. You're like, how the hell did I do this? And then there was like this shift that I noticed. And you started doing videos. So what was kind of the thing behind that? When was that shift? And why?
Me just not limiting myself. Me getting rid of that mentality of, oh, I don't know how to do it, because I didn't know how to do it, but the best way to know how to do something is just try it. And so I first tried it, wasn't good at all. I remember I remember my first video, man. It's on my Instagram, but it just wasn't good. But I did it though, and it felt good to do it, you know.
Finish it.
And then I promised myself, I said, okay, I'm gonna try to get better with every shoot. So like every shoot I learned something new. I start getting better equipment, I start getting lights, stabilizer, more lenses. And then the benefit of working with my cousins, you know, like Darius and Nick, you guys might know him as Nick Samps and Sounds Like 08, but
okay.
I got to get a lot of practice shooting for them, you know, and learning everything either the hard way, or, you know, just going back and remembering like, okay, what did you do wrong last time? Okay, how can you do better? So yeah, I just want to get better with every shoot. I just want to see how far we could take this thing, you know? Yeah,
and I noticed the shift. So I just remember like, you know, because after I met you at Dope or Nope, I followed you. And I just remember a post that I kind of saw a total shift in your like account and what you do. And I don't know how much you want to get into it, but I remember you posted like things were just not going well. You it was like outside of Solon jail or whatever.
Yeah, I went to jail. Yeah,
so like a lot of things were going good for you. Like they were like you had to back against the wall. What did you kind of learn from that experience?
I learned about balance, because at that time I was like super laser focused on the photography and the videography. So the only reason I was in jail is because I missed the court date. Like I wasn't opening mail, like I wasn't working anywhere, so I wasn't really making any money. I was just super focused on, you know, just, you know, trying to understand the craft and everything. And I paid in more ways than that, you know, just in a lot of ways. And so that's when I learned like, okay, I gotta find a way to balance, like, you know, my life with the life I eventually will have, you know. So I just got more serious after that. I was like, okay, I gotta take this serious. So me getting to sit down like that, you know, really helped like me to be able to put things in a line and get focused. Because at first things were just kind of like everywhere. What do I do? Now things are more like goal oriented.
Yeah.
You know, like I actually have an idea of what I want to do, which is new for me. You know, everything used to be random. So I think that was the shift. Just me realizing like, okay, you got to actually set goals and put things in motion.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I seen that change. After that day you posted that, you have been working every day. The content you post, I think, is great.
Thank you.
You know, I can't wait till people actually, you know, it gets the love it deserves.
Thank you.
I think you're definitely getting lowballed on your views where you should be getting way more.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I don't worry.
there.
Yeah, I don't really worry too much about views now because I know eventually they'll go up and everything. But like when I shoot for a client and they tell me like, oh, this is the best video I had, and like they posting their video on their story every other day, like that's such a good feeling to me.
Yeah.
And I know the right people are watching me, like you, people that's doing it, people that want to shoot with me. Like some people that I haven't talked to in forever, like they'll just randomly message me like, oh, I see you doing a good job. So that kind of stuff means more to me, at least right now, than having a whole lot of followers, you know. So
yeah, I mean, it's just numbers, man. At the end of the day, it's like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, I know eventually when it becomes more of a business and it becomes more of like, okay, this is how I'm making a living. Yeah. That kind of stuff matters. But right now, just the growth.
Focus on the content. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to look at it.
Mm-hmm. So I know you make a lot of great work, but what stood out specifically to me was the work you did for Nellaholic.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just wondering, like, how did that come about? Was that more so their vision? Was it a combination between the both of you?
That was a dope picture. Yeah,
Thank you. That was a funny story. That was super last minute. They called me, like the girl Taylor. How did I know her? I think she messaged me talking about a shoot like months before, like a while ago, but it never came to be.
I get it.
And so she just called me one night like, yeah, my photographer bailed on us or whatever. You think you can come in like an hour and shoot? So I wasn't prepared. Camera wasn't charged. Nothing. Yeah. So
that's the worst when your camera's not charged. Then
right.
Ever since way.
That's another lesson I had to learn. Like never get caught lacking. I always had that camera on 100%. Your lights, your stabilizer, never get caught lacking. I definitely got caught lacking. And so I pulled up, and man, I was so nervous. Like, and I didn't know her. This was my first time meeting her, and then this was a paid shoot. And I didn't have any direction or what I wanted to do. So I was so nervous. And
I'm getting a little cold sweat. You know, like,
yeah. You're like, oh my God. Because the first couple pictures I took would just not work and they just weren't good. So I just stepped in the bathroom and like looked at myself in the mirror and was like, look, you can make this work. You can turn around. You got to turn this around. Like I just was like literally talking to myself like a crazy person. Okay. And then I came out, and that's when I start being more confident, directing them, like really like talking to them and understanding like what their vision is and stuff. And that's when I learned, that was my first time kind of directing a shoot. And I learned that it pays to get to know the person that you're working with, kind of have an idea of what they want. Because they're trusting your eye, but you also kind of got to give them what they want, you know? Yeah. So it pays to kind of understand, you know, what they're into or what they represent. And so, man, that was some clutch, like Kobe fourth quarter last minute.
You came in.
I mean, it came out so well. Like it definitely stands out on your page.
Thank you.
And I mean, from what your page looks like before that, most of the customers were like music people.
Yeah.
So how was that transition? Even, you know, like, because like once you get in the habit of like, I'm doing this music video, this promo music video, boom, 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 and then it's like, oh, they have like a business, so maybe I should do something different. So what was that moment like when you were there, when you were like, maybe I have to do something different than I would normally do for my music videos?
Realizing, well, just the jump from photography to doing videos, period, just came with a lot more preparation.
Okay.
Because at first it used to be me just showing up with my camera. And then once I kind of got into video for the first time, I realized that, okay, I got to kind of have an idea of where we're going to be shooting. I got to kind of listen to the song and you know, figure things out. So I started having that mentality, and that kind of helped when, okay, if somebody hits me up to ask me to do something I never did before, it's like, okay, as long as I have time to plan and, you know, work with them on what they want to do, I can do it. So I won't be so blindsided. Like, I don't know anything about you, your business. I'm just bringing my camera, you know, winging it, you know. Sometimes that work, but it's not good. Yeah, I had one of those. I had my first like last minute winging it music videos the other day. This guy Louis 216 who he hit me up and was like, yeah man, can you come? And cause like I guess his videographer bailed on him too or whatever, and he was like, man, can you come and shoot this video for me? I need it done in like 2 hours, and I need it edited and posted by tomorrow at 12.
Oh man, I would've been like, See, the fact that you did it, right?
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it.
Was that today that you shot?
No, that was like, the day before yesterday. Remember I told you I haven't been asleep for more than...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I was about to say, I was like, damn dude, we're taking away from your time. Like, you better get that shit done.
No,
kudos to you for taking that. I mean,
Thank you.
I personally have been like, man, I can't do it. I'm like a slow editor. It takes me like weeks.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. But kudos to you.
Yeah.
People, I mean, that's clutch. People need that last minute shit. And I'm sure that he'll come back to you. Mm-hmm. That's what's so great about it is like all of the customers are always taken from someone else.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if we're being
the bad
real.
ones,
right.
Take a month to edit.
Okay, come on. I'm here.
Oh, no, I mean, but I'm smart. Like, the level of stuff I'm doing, you know, doesn't take a lot. But, like, the one guy I work with, he was like, yeah, my videographer, like, we shot something back in March, and we haven't even heard from him. He's like, that's not normal, is it? I'm like, no. You haven't heard from him?
That is crazy. Dude, people are so that goes into the fact of like people are just terrible business people.
Yeah.
And communicators.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, look, it's a mix of both. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't like I'm sure Louis 216 isn't expecting the Mona Lisa. Mm-hmm. You know, he's expecting just some content to be posted, which is cool. But the worst is when you get the people that do. They're like, oh, I want this fucking great ass thing, but I want it by tomorrow. Yeah. And it's like, I can't do that. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna get the best work unless. That's another thing that people need to understand as on the music side is like, us videographers, we want to do the best that we can do, and it does take time. It might take. I've had shoots I had videos that do take a month, but those end up being like my best videos. Yeah. Because I took my time on them and I was like really focused on how the video is and how's it going to be. Like, you know, I think. Yeah. Because I'm sure you want to get to a point where you can just be like, okay, this is my best video. And then every video is going to be your next best video.
Exactly. And you don't want to rush the videographer so they get to a point where. It's like school, like we got an assignment due the next day. And you up at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, you're slapping it together. you know,
you don't want to do that. But luckily with that shoot, we shot it in a way that was super simple to edit. It was almost a one shot thing because he just needed a performance video because he had to turn it into like this this talent show thing. So I was like, all right, I got an idea. Let's do a one shot video.
Easy enough.
Yeah, but we also did a little bit of B-roll, so we were able to throw that in there, and luckily, grace of God, it came out. He liked it. It came out pretty good. So
that's cool. Have you had any? Were you about to say something, Will?
Nah.
Okay. Nah. But have you had any bad experiences? Like who? You don't have to name any names. You don't have to name any names, obviously. Okay. But have you ever had like a bad experience with somebody where you're like, it just isn't working?
Yeah. My first video I ever shot was a bad experience because they didn't pay me. You know, they told me they would. They're like flashing money and stuff, and when it came time to pay me, like, oh man, I got like 15 in my pocket. Why don't you just take this and I'll pay you back later? It's been like 9 months. I'm not counting on it. But other than that, mostly just people that don't have that sense of like, let's get that done. Like I work with people that I show up to the shoot and we're ready to shoot and like they're like, oh, okay, well, hold on, let me call my cousin and see if he'll come over. So let's just hang around and wait. And it's like, man, I don't want to hang out in your house. I don't know you like that, you know? You know? Yeah. Especially if I don't immediately vibe with that person. It's usually those people that have you do the most, like, the stuff you don't want to do. And so just mostly working with people that just, you know, aren't professional. But luckily I never had like a bad experience where like somebody tried to cuss me out or something just terrible happened. So
yeah, I think a lot of people well, if you know that's like how, as far as like on the artist side, like that's how you're gonna shoot your video, like when the videographer shows up, I'm gonna call my people because he's actually there. I think that's only cool if you and the videographer have like an amount of hours set. Yeah, so if like I tell you like, yo, I'm booking you for 4 hours between this time, it doesn't matter what happened. We just sit there in the last hour, we just start shooting. I mean, that's just what it is. Yeah. But if it's kind of like, you know, pull up, shoot, and then I didn't tell you like, you know, this was gonna happen, then it is kind of awkward. Like, I just got bro sitting in my crib. I'm calling my whole family like, yo, yeah, he's definitely here, dude. Like, pull up, dude. Oh, you said you like 15 minutes wait. That don't matter. Like, well, shoot. I mean, have you talked to the videographer? Like, I mean, it might do matter. Like,
I wasn't charging by the hour, so that's why I had to suffer.
Well, I'm not saying to charge by the hour, but do get like an understanding of what they want to do. Like, I just feel like it makes it so much better. Like, so you think this will be like a 3-hour thing or 2-hour thing? I feel like it just always makes everything so much better for everybody.
Yeah, that's something I learned, you know, the hard way. Obviously, I've had same scenarios where I was like, God, what'd I do? Fuck, I'm sitting here for fucking hours, and then one person shows up, and I gotta make this look cool, which is like the 2 people. He said it'd be all this stuff. I guess it's communication, and you could, you know. And I think the most important thing is even talking to them via FaceTime or meet. Like, I like to avoid that, a lot of times I'd meet up with the person. Because I realize that you get to know somebody by that. Yeah. You know, by talking with them, by kind of bouncing off ideas. Because I'm a planner. So when I do a video, I want to do my best video, but I want to have a plan. I want to have like a cool concept involved. You know, because those are the greatest videos, when you have a good sense of direction of what you're doing. But when you have the people that just want to shoot a video, you realize that that's what happens. You know, that's what people just like, oh, I want a video. And you go and you shoot, and then they have no idea what they're doing. Yeah. And they're looking to you, and you're like, oh, and then then 2 o'clock becomes 11, and you're like, fuck, man. Now it's at nighttime, and you ever been in a scenario where it's like too dark to shoot, and you're like, fuck, dude, it's gonna turn out so shitty. It's like, I don't have one of those cameras to make it look good at night. Like,
I say one of the biggest things I think about creating content, and I do it for like, I don't care what we're making, but I will say that the end time like 6 times to somebody. Yeah. And it'd be like, they'd be like, you know, oh dude, I heard you like I heard you like the third time you said it. But the reason I stress the end time is because like there is no like getting tired or it's really that end time. Like, I mean, dude, that's why I said it literally like 6 times. Because like the end time is so important. And I mean, definitely like I would think for you guys, because it's kind of like the end time is so much more important than the start time to me. Yeah. Because, you know, if we say Saturday at 4 p.m. is the end time, and, you know, that person is supposed to call you at 12, but they call you at 2, I'm sorry, that does not change the end time. Yeah. Like, it's like I have stuff to do in my day, and, you know, 4 p.m., so we can still get those 2 hours in. Like, I'm down for the cause, like, let's go. But that does not change the end time. Like, but I thought, you know, 4 was... I don't know why you would think that, but...
Right.
Like, 4 is 4.
Wow, that's smart. That's smart.
But I think the end time is, like, the biggest thing to always stress.
Well, it's so important because then you put in perspective of what the day is going to look like. Yeah. Like, you know, when we shot our short film, it was like the end time is 6, you know? And guess what? We finished earlier than that. Yeah. But everyone was like so happy that we finished earlier because, you know, if we would have told them that 4 o'clock instead of 6 and we're at 4:30, they would be like annoyed. You know? Like, we had a good sense of end time, and in their heads, this is how it's going to be. And no one complained.
And the other thing about the end times, because what happened a lot is you'll only have a start time. And when you only have a start time, it changes everything. See, but when you have an end time, that's when people are calling. People like, dude, I only got them to 4 p.m. You need to hurry up. Like, hurry up. Yeah, like, it creates that urgency. But if you only got a start time, it will get so bad. Like, oh yeah, dude, he's here all day. You're probably looking over like,
no, I booked him all day. I'm like, what? Excuse me. This ain't gonna take all day.
Yeah, my videographer, he ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah.
I've actually heard those phone calls before.
What?
Like, he'll be here. I booked him all day.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and you're looking over like,
that couple $100 doesn't save that.
Yeah, 10 to 10. I got him on a 10-hour shift. Nothing crazy.
Rappers just. I think it has to do with videographers need to be more professional, but also artists need to be more. I think they look at it as a favor sometimes, and that can be the problem at the core of it, because they have this idea of like, oh, I'm gonna be a famous rapper, even if they're not. The only time you could do that maybe is if you're a famous rapper.
Right.
But like, if you're mediocre, getting like 20 plays on SoundCloud, don't boss the videographer around. Don't shorthand them. Respect them and collaborate with them, and that's like the most important thing. Be professional, like no matter what. Like, we're all doing a job.
Wow. I kind of thought of it. Not to cut you off. I actually thought of it from like a different point of view. I thought of it like the idea of like saturation, in that you're lucky that I picked you. So when you say favor, it's kind of like, dude, I literally picked you, like to do this video when I could have picked all these other people in Cleveland to shoot my video. Like, aren't you lucky? Like, don't you feel good that you're getting paid to shoot this video? And I mean, that shouldn't be the mindset, but I know like it is. I know it is for a lot of people.
Well, like, I mean, it's not like you go to Walmart and be like, oh, you came to Walmart, you're so lucky you could have a Walmart. Like, if someone was in there telling you that to you when you were shopping, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Why I shop here anyways?
Yeah. Going to Costco's.
Yeah, fuck y'all. I'm going now. I spend my time at Target or Aldi's.
Right.
I think, but that's respect and professionalism. Like, you book someone because their work.
Yeah.
If you don't have any respect for me, why would I respect you? Like, I'm the type of person, I don't give a fuck about the money.
Right.
I'll walk out on anything I don't think I'm being respected on.
Yeah.
But some people have that money. They have to make that money.
Yeah.
The money needs to be made.
Yeah.
So they have to take that and take whatever they can get.
Yeah, and that's why it's not good to it's good to just have a job while you're starting this. Like, don't quit that job, or work a job they can work with your schedule. But if you feel like you dependent on this money, you need it, this can be a stressful thing to get into, because either A, you're gonna have to deal with some stuff you don't want to deal with, or B, you might be dependent on this video shoot to come through for you to pay one of your bills. Then they cancel last minute and you just distraught. You don't want to depend on that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they cancel. They cancel last minute. You depend on these people, and they don't understand that, obviously, because you're not telling them that. I mean, there's no way to tell them that. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I when I was starting out, I worked, a job at night and filmed during the day. And I mean, it worked for me. Yeah. And then finding that balance, because what happens though is you do it long enough that at a certain level, you no longer get those people or those businesses that suck to work with. You eventually build clients that you like to work with, and you eventually build more opportunities that you can make more money from, and then it gets better. Yeah, it does get better with time, and you do have to get those experiences where the rapper may call his friend and wait hours in his living room just so you can have the knowledge of what you don't want. Right. And the experience of learning how things work. Yeah. Because then you could be more prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's why people shouldn't be afraid of failure, because the two ways you learn is either from experience or, someone else's experience, Yeah. So a lot of stuff I learned is just from bad things happening to me. They were either my fault or someone else's fault. And then I go, okay, how can I make sure this doesn't happen again? So.
Oh, yeah, that's a great way with just your own mistakes, We all in a situation where, You know, we're supposed to do something and then we make a mistake and we're like, fuck, man, like, but we do learn from it. You get better, and that's how you do prepare. So what kind of motivates you though to shoot and get better every day? Because I see you shot today. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to shoot today. It's like what, for Thursday?
Right. Yeah, that was a shoot that was supposed to happen last night, but it was just too dark. Limitations of the camera, so we shot today.
Feel that.
Yeah. I mean, man, honestly, my motivation is just getting better. Like, just last night I was watching The Last Dance. Stuff like that inspires me just as much as movies and like actually studying what I do. Like studying people that are great at what they do and understanding their mindset, you know, and then I try to pick that up, you know. And so if it's ever a video shoot, there's been times where I'm like, oh man, I low-key don't want to go out and shoot. I just want to chill today. But I'm like, no, this is what I asked for. This is what I signed up for. So I'm slowly starting to fall out of love with my bed, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like I like getting up in the morning and getting out. And so now it feels weird when I have a day that I don't have anything to do. But I never have those days. Because even if I don't have to shoot or I don't have work, I'm learning, man. I'm trying
YouTube.
Yeah. I'm learning. So there is no more days where there's nothing to do. So yeah, that's really what motivates me. Just want to just get better every time, you know.
Who are some of the people that inspire you behind the camera?
Behind the camera, okay, as far as music videos, honestly, people like Director X.
Okay.
Oh man, who's the guy who shot the Laugh Now Cry Later video for Drake?
Oh yeah, he's done a lot of fucking shit. Oh my god.
I forgot his name.
Mike.
I forgot his name.
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. He's done like Travis. Oh no,
he done.
David.
Don't try to
David.
be God.
Fuck, he's one of my favorite directors too. David. Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Dave, my guy Dave.
Dave, yeah. Yeah, hey, we'll work for free behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely.
David Murphy. Wait, is it David? I don't know. David.
Maybe, I don't know. But more so than music video directors is movie directors. So Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino. Like for cinematography, Roger Deakins, Greg Fraser. I love their stuff. Some of the older guys like Stanley Kubrick and those kind of guys. I really study a lot of movies, and what I'm trying to learn now is how to tell a story better visually. You know. Like how to get over some kind of emotion. Because it's cool to have cool visuals and stuff. But the best music videos and movies that we remember is the ones that made us feel something. Like emotional or angry or, you know, they just super funny. So I study movies and music videos equal parts.
So what's two epic movies you would say you were kind of looking like, man, like the cameraman did a great job, but it's not the special effects, it's just the way it was shot?
Oh, okay, I got two good ones. The Dark Knight trilogy. All of them. Don't make me pick one.
Legendary.
And, oh man, what's that movie with Chris Hemsworth that just came out? It's on Netflix.
Recently, you said recently on Netflix?
Yeah, that action movie.
Any actors that you could give me, maybe?
He was the only big actor. It was shot in like India, but I seen it behind.
I know you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking.
It was like not The Departed. It was called. Oh, I want to cheat.
I haven't watched it, but yeah, it was a big one. It's called like the something. We're sorry guys, we're really bad with remembering this episode.
I mean, because it's so much content out here. I feel like when you are like in this world of entertainment, you look at so much content, and it's like it gets just like stir fried up, like for real. Yeah, but everybody knows the Dark Knight trilogy.
Let's be honest, though, the Dark Knight was the best.
Epic.
The Dark Knight?
The actual Dark Knight.
Out of all three? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
But overall, see, that was just that, like, yes, it's a superhero movie. Yes, it definitely has a more expensive budget than like your normal movie, but it wasn't about, I don't know, being in the middle of New York and everybody is throwing these punches at the speed of light. It was literally about like how it was shot, how it was written,
story,
and it was just fire. Like,
visual storytelling.
Yeah, and I like stories where there's not so much. Okay, this is the bad guy, this is the good guy. I like stories where you can kind of understand why the bad guy does what he does. Like you can see where he comes from, his motivations. Yeah. And a lot of times you might find yourself relating to the villain more than the hero. Like you might think like, okay, I wouldn't go that far, but you listen to the little monologues versus the hero, and you kind of like, man, I kind of agree with him more.
That's what the Joker did.
Yeah, the Joker. Why didn't I mention that?
Yeah.
Best movie I ever seen. I'll say that.
So raw.
The Joker, yeah.
I can respect that.
Yeah, I think we see it. I see it twice.
Joker was so
best movie I ever
fire, just because it's like, I don't know. Like I feel like his job. A lot of people look at that like his job is like a small part of the movie. But I feel like it was a big part because it was just like, damn, like, I mean, I don't know, that could be me, like, just literally going to, like, this little, like, job. Because, like, I don't know, every time you look at, like, a villain movie, it's like they have some, like, evil laboratory and, like, a Ferrari car and everything's just, like, crazy. And, like, I mean, dude, are you really angry? Like you kind of got, like, a lot going on for yourself.
Like a drug
but the Joker
kingpin.
was, like, actually, like, dude, I mean, he got a crappy job. He got no car. He's catching the subway. Shoot, I see why dude is angry. Like
his mom's psychotic.
I promise you, like most villain movies you see, dude, you will see like the villain like, dude, you got like an outfit made of titanium. Like first off, I have so many questions. Or you're like, I don't know. Like I'm just thinking like all the villains literally have like this like luxury life. Yeah. And Joker is just like, oh no, it's really like bad. Like on nights that like after like I fight like Batman, I just go back to like like this raggedy dead house. Like
yeah, that's just like in The Dark Knight when that Joker just burned all that money. Like that scene was so memorable because you really realize at that point he's just psycho. He's not doing this for money. Like most villains, they're just trying to get rich or get power. He just was having fun. Like he didn't have any real like overall mission. He just was effing with Batman, really.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's more scary.
Oh, and I think that's the other big thing about like Joker. So Joker literally is like just against like Batman. So a lot of other like plots and stuff, I feel like it's like world domination. Mm-hmm. Like even if they beat their villain, like the whole thing is like we're not done. Like
yeah.
Like his is literally like, dude, I need to catch him. Like, I've been trying this for years. And, like I know he got, like, it souped up and everything. Like, it's like super belt, but I will catch him. Like,
right. And it make you, like, question Batman. Like, why don't you just kill this dude? Especially, like, the comics and the video games and stuff. Like, he kept escaping, and more people would die. So just kill this dude.
Yeah.
Right? But his moral thing is, oh, I don't kill. But it's like, maybe this is somebody you should. You know, so then you question yourself, like, would I kill this person? Probably. You know?
Right. Yeah. And the thing that the Joker did well was because you could replace. It didn't even have to be the Joker in that scenario. That could have been a great movie, whether it was any. They could have called it something else and had it not even relate to Batman or the Joker. Yeah. And it would have been a great movie.
Yeah, it was a good character study.
Yeah, because what it took is like everyday aspects of people, like how we feel. Mm-hmm. You know, none of us are wealthy. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times we feel like the man is in power, and like you know, we could feel at times like we have no, you know, say in anything we do, and life gets hard. It does get tough.
Yeah.
And it just spoke to that, and I think that's why people liked it so much, is because it wasn't over glamorized. Yeah. You know, the Joker doesn't have a Ferrari. And I like the aspect that they didn't make Batman really a main part of it.
Yeah.
You know, like, he was a kid, but, like, he wasn't the main part of it.
Right.
It was just a good... it was a good way to relate to the anti-hero and to do an anti-hero film well.
Yeah. Because I think just how it made you question the character. Because I remember like when it first came out, people were saying, "Oh, this movie is gonna like glorify killers or something." But no, it did the opposite. It made people empathize with people and realize, because a lot of people have this like, oh, stop crying and pull yourself up by your bootstrap mentality. But if that person, a lot of times they don't even, they're just in a bad place mentally. They don't even have anyone there in their life to be giving them positive affirmations or to just be, telling them like, no, this is how things should be. They say boredom is the playground of the devil. If like you just don't have anything to bounce your ideas off of, to like vent to, and someone telling you like, oh man, it's gonna be all right, just focus and everything, you can spiral like that. And so a lot of people, they just end up spiraling. They just, they get into such a negative, cycle of thinking that before you know it, they start becoming irrational. And that's how stuff like that happens. So you should really look at people, before it gets that bad, like someone with a really sad life, and, see if you can do your part to try to inspire them instead of kind of looking down at them like, just get it together. It's not that easy.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. Because, what happens is that the people, it's not good versus evil. Mm-hmm. It's like if we can understand why people do something, we can sympathize, and then that sympathizing will stop things like that.
Yeah, right.
Because look, let's look at it as facts. Like, people have mental disorders. People have problems that are beyond their control. Mm-hmm. And if someone has a mental problem and you're saying that you're garbage and that you're like weird and that you're laughing at you, what's it going to do to you mentally?
Right.
That's going to break you down even worse.
Right.
Then you're like, fuck everyone else. Mm-hmm. And it becomes bigger than that. And that's what literally happened. And, even the aspect of the TV guy who was on TV and he was like, they were bringing him on just to laugh at him. Yeah. That happens all the time. Yeah. That's basically like society laughing at you because you're different. Mm-hmm. Which you see in school, you see in all these different places around the world. It's kind of like a metaphor. Just because you're weird doesn't mean that you're not normal. Right. Because you're normal in a different way. Like, no one's fucking normal. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just how you're expressing it, and everyone does deserve a chance. Mm-hmm. Not saying that people that kill people and do fucked up shit is right at all, because it's not. Yeah. But it's like, before it gets to that point, we can have a better understanding. Right. And give people a chance. Mm-hmm. Because I know we all have seen the kids in our class when we were in high school. We're like, but you never know how they'll turn out. Like, I bet some of those kids are doing really well for themselves. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we were the people that people were like, I don't know about this guy.
Man, I knew this kid, and man, I was kind of worried. I remember I walked up and like had a conversation with him because he got bullied bad. Like, he used to always come in wearing like trench coats, and he was just a real awkward kid, sat by himself at lunch. People used to make fun of this dude, and I'm like, man, are you serious? Like, do you not see the news? You don't see how these things turn out? Like, not just assuming he'll do that, but it's like, man, obviously he already has a rough enough life. Why are you kicking dirt in his eyes? Why don't you try to, inspire him, teach him about confidence, teach him, like, help him out, you know? It's so funny how, like, we're all the same species, right? We're humans, but we find a way to divide ourselves so much, not only just race, but then like even within the same race, like, we separate ourselves from other people, and it's like we're not all that different. The only difference between us for the most part is how we came up, like the stuff we learned at a young age, like the stuff we kind of got into in our teenage years. They kind of shaped us as adults. Like, how you turn out as an adult, you know, a lot of time is depending on how your childhood was, how your parents were, how your family was, like how rough your life was.
Yeah.
You know? Because there's some people I know that, man, they just look old. Like, they're younger than me, but they look old. But it's because, like, at 12 years old, like, they had to be the man of the house and, like, they had to buy a gun and defend the house. And they just had to live. They just had to live an adult life. And they didn't get to, like, be playing Pokemon and stuff. You know, they had to be making rent, you know?
Yeah.
So of course, when they become my age, like, sometimes they're kind of jaded, or they kind of just have this just bad outlook on life because they were dealt a bad hand. But it really doesn't matter what hand you were dealt. It matters what you do with it, you know?
Yeah. And if people could just have a little more sympathy, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, because we all make judgments of people. Obviously, that's how we are as humans. You know, before we approach somebody, we make a judgment in our head. But no matter what the judgment is, if we have a little bit of sympathy, that can go a long way.
Yeah.
You know, before we completely judge somebody, let's get to know them a little bit. You know? Yeah, because you never know. You never know what someone's going through, I guess, is what is really the end of the day. Like, someone could be going through hell. That kid probably was going through hell, but he came to school every day.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I hope he doing good now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
shout out.
Yeah, if you're watching, that'd be crazy if you just been like watching my videos. Like, hey, that's that kid that came and talked to me.
Yeah, or he's like a millionaire.
Yeah, already. Like, he founded an app.
Hey, man, you never know. I'm telling you, those people come. How do you think Mark Zuckerberg was probably a little fucking weird shithole in high school?
He still is.
I mean, he's still
imagine
weird
in high school.
Yeah. Oh, imagine high school.
When he had no money, so no one had any reason to, like, respect him. Now he got a bunch of, like, you know, butt kissers because he's a billionaire. But imagine before he had money, no one had to respect him or anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of stuff people got to think about.
Yeah, he probably made fun of hella.
Yeah. His name is Zuckerberg. Can you imagine all the jokes that came from that?
All right, Zuckerberg. I don't know. I feel like in middle school that would be tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a sucker punch. I don't know. Just something.
Yeah. He probably.
But he's like kind of a. But see, we can make fun of him though, because he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And plus, his story had a good ending.
I never met him, but I'm assuming from media and how he handles himself.
Yeah.
He's probably a dick, but who knows? Maybe he could be a good guy.
Yeah, I mean,
we
never know.
If you want to be on the podcast, we'll have you. It's okay.
It's too late now. Let's hope he doesn't see this. He'll, like, you know, delete your Instagram account.
Oh wow, yeah, he could ruin your life.
He owns Instagram.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I didn't even think about like what he could actually do to you if you like made fun of him. He's just like,
he's got power.
I seen Boosie offer $100,000, and he like they didn't flinch. Like they didn't.
He was probably like,
they didn't even like flinch like oh maybe this Boosie character, maybe he's not that bad. It was just like, we gotta set the example.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta set the example. It could be you, no matter how famous you are, what you got going on.
It's so funny what they decide is like acceptable and not acceptable.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's
I don't know. I don't really like their It's very conflicting sometimes, like how they handle it. I don't know.
I mean, sometimes it's as simple as...
I think they should free the nips on Instagram, personally.
You think? Like Twitter?
I think so. You know how much better Instagram would be?
Man, they low-key do.
No, but they blur it out. But I want to see. I want to actually see it. Like,
honestly, it seems like okay, if you're bringing in money, you get a little bit more leeway with certain stuff. Cause I mean, come on, look at like Tory Lanez, what was going on his live?
Yeah.
He's bringing money in, man. So they kind of, but of course he kind of pushed it too far where they had to step in. Or people like Logan Paul, where he went into the forest and filmed that dead person. So you can imagine that was a tough decision for them, because he one of the highest, grossing YouTubers, and they gotta make a decision to like take down his YouTube page. Do you remember hearing about all that?
Yeah, I mean, he's fucked up. I don't fuck with those.
I don't either. People. And they're from Ohio.
I know.
Shame.
Westlake.
Oh man.
They got money.
Yeah.
They went to OU too.
Westlake. That explains it all. Just
that explains it all. I think it's ended there. Yeah. So what do you want out of your career? Do you want to become a filmmaker? Do you want to focus more on making movies eventually? Is that what the goal is?
I think about this often, and I do see myself both making movies and videos. I just love this so much and have so much fun with it that, you know, like even when it comes to movies, like I was debating for a long time, like, okay, do you want to be a cinematographer? Do you want to be a director? But then I see that a lot of them do both. It's like if you got a love for something, you know, you just learn every aspect of it. So like right now, I'm studying, I've been studying cinematography. I'm studying directing more. And then I'm also studying like story writing, so I can just understand.
You write screenplays and stuff.
Yeah, so even if I'm not the one writing it, like even if I'm just a cinematographer or something, if I understand how a story comes together and everything, I can make more. I can make better decisions. I can make more conscious decisions with everything. So, yeah.
Okay, so you do want to get into movies, right?
Oh,
That's the next step after music videos.
Definitely, 100%.
I can't wait to see what you do, man. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh, nervous.
No, I think it'll be great. I think that is probably the best thing to do is to learn every aspect of something. That way you can fill in, like when the opportunity does come in, you can fill in. Mm-hmm. You know, someone's like, hey, you know, I'm working on a short film and our cinematographer just dropped out. Mm-hmm. Boom.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I need a second assistant director. Mm-hmm. Boom. There's so many different jobs that people don't think about. Yeah. When they think about filmmaking, there's so many. You got fucking production assistant, which is the basic one. Then you have second assistant director. Shit, you got second assistant director. You know, you got DP. You have gaffer. You have grip. You have screenwriter. You have
set designer.
Continuity. Yeah,
continuity.
A whole person on continuity. Like they just write down things and take pictures of what the set looks like. Yeah. There's just set design. Location manager. Like these are all real people that do these roles, and I think it's great to learn every aspect of it because on these big films, you know, starting out, you might not get to be the big director or big cinematographer. But knowing things will help you fill in and get that opportunity to eventually do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we kind of got to, as far as staying consistent, I feel like being behind the camera, like whether being like directing, DP, writing, we kind of have an advantage because like I feel like when you're an actor, like it's way too dependent on you as a person. So like you get caught late night, like drunk, cheating on your wife or something, and like you got to deal with that court of public opinion, and if people got a bad outlook on you, it might affect, you might get blackballed in a way where people don't want to work with you. Whereas most directors and DPs and stuff, like they're not famous, people don't know anything about them, so
but they need that guap.
Yeah, because it's solely focused on your work. You know, they're not worrying about who you're sleeping with, what you drink, what you know. Yeah. It's not focused on your work. So. Okay, so I got a question for both of you. Do you guys, you know, even though you've been doing what you've been doing for a long time and you're really good at it, and I'm sure you're confident in what you're doing, do you still experience a sense of doubt sometimes? Like, either I don't know if I can do this the best I can, or you've done it and you don't really know, is this really good? Do you still feel that?
I think my sense of doubt, well, I'm gonna go into like maybe music, just music specifically. But I think my sense of doubt sometimes could be like, is the world going in this direction that's just not meant for me? And it's just like a thought that crosses my mind. I don't like wake up every day like, oh, I'm just not gonna make it because this is what people want to listen to or this is what people want to see. But it does cross my mind like, oh, this is like I see a trend in what people are talking about, what's on the radio. And I don't fit in that trend, but at the same time, you have to look at the people that broke these trends. Like when I look at somebody like Eminem beginning, he's getting destroyed by all of these record labels. They're literally like, this must be an evil joke. Like nobody's gonna listen to this. Yeah. When you look at people like Jay-Z, dude, he doesn't rap like everybody else. Like it's not. it's not gritty enough. Like it's gritty, but it's not gritty enough. He'll never make it. Nobody's gonna sign that guy. Mm-hmm. And then you have to ask yourself like where they're at right now.
Yeah.
From like literally decline. Yeah. And I think that could be in general, like with anything you do. Like a lot of people, ideas might start out small and not be the best. Like even if we look at something, you know, very different, just for entrepreneurs to think about in general, like Coke. If I'm correct, like only 6 bottles got sold the first year.
Oh, Coca-Cola.
But yeah, my bad. Yeah, I mean maybe only 6 packages of Coke got sold. I don't know that information. But only 6 bottles of Coca-Cola got sold. Mm-hmm. But guess what? He showed up the next year and was basically like, "Hey, I know I only sold 6 bottles last year, but I think my drink is good. I think it's good. I'm gonna keep going." And I mean, Coca-Cola, you can't run for Coca-Cola right now. Right. And like literally, it doesn't matter what country you're in, like you can't run from it. Yeah. So I just look at a lot of stuff like I have a product and I'm gonna stand firm on my product. And yes, I think we as humans are gonna naturally doubt our product here and there because we don't have all the results yet that we would like for our product. But you gotta just keep going and feel firm that you have a solid product. Because once you like fully give up on your product, I mean, you lost. Yeah. Like that's literally the day you lost.
Absolutely.
You know, if you only sell 6 bottles and you sell that 7th bottle next year, that's a win because you sold 7 bottles.
Yeah. Forward progression is better than no progression or backwards progression.
Yeah.
You know, regressing, I guess.
But yeah, I think doubt is natural. Like,
yeah, I think if you don't, doubt is definitely natural. I think if you don't have doubt, I don't even give a fuck if you're Stanley Kubrick or you're me. Like, if you don't have doubt within any phase, then something's not right because the doubt makes you better in a lot of ways because it gives you something kind of to challenge. It's a challenge, really. Yeah. You know, doubt is kind of a challenge. So one part of me might think like, oh man, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, but I'm gonna get the job done. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna do what I need to do anyways. It's like constantly challenging yourself. I often find that I doubt myself a lot all the time, especially with working with, you know, unlike music where it's just solely kind of you know, you'll have a beat and you'll record it, and I know there's a lot of different collaboration within that. Yeah. But for me, I battle with the idea of, okay, I like something, will this person like it? Yeah. Yeah. Because it's very tough when you're in a situation where what I think is great, you may not think is great. So I have to now think about what your opinion is when I'm doing something. Yeah. And that can be very tough on a creator to kind of balance where it's like, okay, well, you know, I have a vision of what I want to do and what I want, you know, will people like it? But I guess at the end of the day, you have to, like you said, my product is good. Yeah. They'll like it if it's good. Yeah. But it's a doubt that crosses my mind. It's also a doubt like, can I do it again? Yeah. I have this problem often where I make something so great, well, that I think is great. So I make something I think is so great, and I look back on it, I'm like, could I have done that again? Yeah. Would it be possible for me to ever do it again? I don't think I could do it again. Yeah, I definitely feel that a lot. That's my problem, my biggest problem, I think. Yeah.
And it's so crazy that our mind goes there. Yeah. But I guess it's a good thing.
But, like you do it again, you know? Yeah. But, like, even after that, you're like, oh, God, you know, no matter how many times I fucking I shoot a music video, I still don't know if I can make it as good as something before. Right.
Yeah, I don't...
That's what I think, at least.
What was I going to go? Oh, well, I think it's so interesting because, you know, I feel like we always, you know, want these results. We want the same amount of comments, like numbers as like the people we look up to. But I think one moment that kind of like really stood out for me is when I was watching Kevin Hart and he was explaining like how good like Dave Chappelle was. And Dave Chappelle superstar definitely, but he's never been as big as Kevin Hart. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that could be based off a lot of variables from like where social media is at right now, where marketing is at, however you want to say it. But the fact is, Dave Chappelle has never been as big as Kevin Hart. But for him to, go and look through his comedy and, look at the different skits that he's creating and just admit, like, I don't get it. Like, how is he this good? Like, how is he able to put together these jokes and create the skit in the right props? And watching, like, Kevin Hart do that for me was kind of like, it's really just not about, like, the numbers. Yeah. Like, eventually you got to break down, you got to sit down with yourself and look at your quality. And I think they both have good quality, but I would definitely agree, personally, I mean, people don't have to agree, but I do think Dave just got it over Kevin Hart. Like, like from stand-up to the way he uses his prop, like, it's different. It's a whole different monster. And, I mean, for him to recognize that, obviously, it's literally Kevin Hart. Like, he doesn't have to give anybody credit.
Everyone has to be inspired. Everyone's inspired by somebody, though, at the end of the day. And you have to respect that people are good and, if not better than you. I'm sure Dave Chappelle is a big fan of somebody else. Yeah, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he thinks he's not the greatest.
Right.
He probably thinks he's damn good.
Yeah.
But he's probably not going like, damn, dude, I'm way better than fucking all these people. Like, And he's probably thinking, how am I going to make this joke work?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think my main thing is just the fact of, like, when people go to somebody that seems to be lower. Because it's easier to pick the high person, like, oh, this person is the biggest rated comedian. This person is the biggest rapper. They sold this many records. But when you take time out of your day to, like, hey, everybody, I got something I honestly want to admit. Yeah, this person is not the biggest person right now. They're not getting picked for all of these movies like me and XYZ, but this person is damn talented. Like, I think that takes a big person to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that just comes from, I think part of that is just not letting your head blow up or having like an ego. Because all the people that like kind of blew up fast and then fell off, like, I feel like it's because they got that ego. Like Carlos Mencia, for example, the one who like got caught stealing all the jokes. He always came off to me like he had this attitude, I'm the best. I don't really like. They're asking like, oh, who inspires you? Like, oh, I really inspire myself. Like people like that. It's like you have to be humble and give what's the word? Appreciation to those that inspires you, because everyone is inspired by someone. And then you also have to remember, like, to me, I always look at myself as like just a student learning. I feel like I'll never be at a place where I feel like, oh, I'm good, I learned everything I need to learn, or oh, I'm the best. I always feel like, man, I'm just trying. I'm just doing the best that I possibly can. Because even once you get to the level of like Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan, like, even though they're like legendary in what they do, I'm sure they still feel pressure. Like, they're dealing with studios. They're dealing with like, okay, I'm giving you a $20 million budget. I need you. This movie has to make $100 million. So I'm sure they can't ever get to a point where they feel like, oh, I got it. There's always still that pressure. Yeah.
Well, one problem in thinking that you learned everything is just, let's look at the reality of direction. So if you were popping, like, directing movies from, like, let's say like 2000 or like 2007, what movies look like from like 2011 to now are way different. And you can't say that type of joke no more.
Right.
Oh, you can't do that no more.
Oh yeah.
So even if you were the guru master, things are going to change, trends are going to change, and you have to adapt with a group of people and basically be like, hey, I think things have really changed. We can't do what we used to do. I think you need to listen to some of these younger people. Yeah. Like you're great with the camera, you're great from the angles, but things have changed. Like, you can't do those type of things that you used to do.
Yeah.
So there's never going to be a, like, I'm the master. And things change in anything. Like, I don't care if you do
every single thing.
I don't care if you do radio, if you work at the news, if you make music. Media is going to change. Like, I guarantee you, with some people that were working for, like something for 50 years, and when that social media hit, all you got to do is just get on there, add some friends, and then click on some stuff. It wasn't that simple for them. Because it's probably like, why do I have to do that? Why can't we just...
This is how we used to do
We just not use social media.
Yeah, but then they were the masters at their one craft, but now something got introduced that's different.
Yeah.
Like...
They didn't evolve.
It's always about learning.
Like, even, I don't know, we could look up, and then now people want movies to be, like, in hologram form or something. Yeah. And now it's like, I mean, you were the master of the camera,
cinema,
but they're like, dude, your hologram is, like, off, like... like you never know where things are going to head. Like, direction is the reason I think people can't be the master forever, because the direction is going to change and there's nothing you can do about it.
Facts. And that's the perfect note to end on. I think that was great. Wow. I mean, everyone should continue to learn. You know, that's I feel like that's the key message of this episode, is like, just continue to learn. Cam, where can they find you at?
Okay, so right now I just mostly do all of my work on Instagram, so you can follow me on Instagram at Cam Davelle. So that's CamDavelle. I had to think about how to spell my own name, but I will be getting my YouTube up and running hopefully this weekend. So that'll be a place where I can have all my videos on one. Then I'll also start making YouTube content.
Okay.
And I'll eventually make a Twitter account and a bunch of other things. But right now, Instagram, Cam Davelle.
Check him out. You can book him on that too, right?
Yeah. You can contact me in the DMs, and we can discuss your vision and everything.
Perfect. All right. Well, check him out. Hey, thank you for being on the show. This was really great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. One of our best deep conversations that we've gotten to. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for listening and watching. It's your boy Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
Cam Davelle.
Yes, sir. So keep it real, y'all. Thank you all for listening and joining us on another episode of the Stirfry. All the music was created by Steve Ozell. Check him out on all streaming services at Stevo Music, spelled ST3V30 Music. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. And see you next Tuesday when we do our first ever Zoom podcast with Ken DeBarber. He is an artist from Charlotte, North Carolina. We talk about the music scene in Charlotte and talk about Ken's experience in aviation school. I learned a bunch of stuff from this episode, so you won't want to miss it. See you next week, y'all.